Why is there conflict between you, your husband, your wife, your neighbor? You follow? Why? In that relationship, thought plays a great part. Right? Thought. Both sexually and in other ways. I won't go into all the details of it because it's very simple. Thought plays a great part in our intimate relationship. Thought creates the image of the man or the woman, and the relationship is between these two images. Are you following all this? Or you're all asleep? What? So, actual relationship doesn't exist. It exists between these two images which thought has created. So, thought may be responsible for for conflict. I wonder if you see all this. So, is it possible not to create the image? You follow? That is, seeing, contact, sensation, car, the image you have built, saying, you sitting in that car, putting your hands on the steering wheel and driving off. It's the same thing as in our personal relationship, which is the image you have built about her or him. It may take 1 minute to create that image. Or you have accumulated a series of images. And she also has created a series of images. So, thought is the origin of conflict. I wonder if you see this. Right? At least few of us. Let's go together. Then the problem arises. How is one to put an end to this movement of creating images all the time? You follow? Is that at all possible? Because we live by images. The images of the past, the remembrance of incidents, the pleasant, unpleasant, all the rest of it. This is our life. And if thought is the origin of this disorder in our relationship, then what place has thought at all? You understand? I wonder if you understand what I'm talking about. See? I'll go into it. You see this. You see very clearly, at least verbally, intellectually, that thought begins all the mess in our relationship. Then the question that arises, how am I to stop thought? Which is a totally wrong question. I wonder if you see that. Because you who want to stop thought, you are created by thought. I wonder if you see, right? So, thought has divided itself as the controller and the controlled. Then you ask the question, how am I to control thought? So we are saying that's a wrong question. That question indicates that you haven't grasped the whole movement of thought. That thought has broken itself up as the thinker and the thought, the controller and the control. So, do we realize this fact that the controller is the controlled? Huh? So what takes place? You understand my question? I see very clearly, if one sees it, I see very clearly that thought is the root of this disorder. Because thought in itself is utterly limited. It can imagine it's limitless, but in fact it's limited. It can conceive theoretically what is time, what's beyond time, God, all that. But it has no value. What has value is our daily life. So, the question when you say, how am I to stop thought, is a wrong question, because thought is the controller and the controlled. Right? Does one see this obvious fact? Or you make an abstraction of it as an idea and say, how am I to carry out that idea? Which means you haven't grasped the full significance of this fact. Right? When you make an abstraction, you are dealing with non-fact. What is fact is the conflict which thought has created, the disorder. So do you actually perceive that the thinker is the root of this? You have created the image between you and your wife, husband, and so on. And that image is not actual. It's a material structure created by thought which acts as a barrier. And therefore, no love. Thought is not love. We'll go into this sometime. So the question is, does your mind, your brain, actually perceive the fact that thought is responsible for our confusion, disorder? When you perceive the fact, what takes place? That's what I want to get at. Let's move from there. You understand? When you see danger, physical danger, there is instant action. Unless you're neurotic or drugged or drunk or whatever it is. If you see something dangerous, there is immediate response. Now, why does your brain not see the danger that thought creates disorder? The danger of disorder. You're following what? Why? There, your brain is tremendously active when you see a danger. the adrenaline, the whole blood everything responses. There your life is threatened. Here also your life is threatened, which is living in disorder is a great threat, great danger to human beings. Why doesn't the brain equally see it instantly, the danger of this, as it sees the other? You follow my question? Why? Come on, sirs. Why do we not see to live in disorder is the greatest danger? Is it because we are used to disorder? Please don't accept what the speaker is saying. We are accustomed to disorder. We put up with disorder. We have the energy to create all. Which all means what? Please go into your brain, look at it, please. Laziness, indifference, lack of aesthetic appreciation of that which is beautiful. Is it the brain, having accepted disorder, disregards it, is indifferent to it, and so therefore, what happens to the brain that has created disorder, thought which has created disorder, and accepts it? What happens to the brain? Come on, sirs. It becomes naturally very dull. When you accept anything, it must be right. When you accept your relationship with another, which is essentially conflict, when you accept it, you have accepted something which is disorderly, unaesthetic, immoral. So what happens? Your life becomes mediocre, dull, and sit there and just listen to some rubbish. So, listening to all this, is there order now in your life? Not tomorrow, immediately. Because you see the danger. I wonder if you see this. You understand what I mean? You act instantly to this danger, physical danger. And here you don't act because, for various reasons. A brain that's awake, alert, sees the danger of disorder, which means what? The brain, with its thought, has created this disorder. So the brain sees the danger of it, and the brain acts because it must have security, safety. You understand all this? Now, is your brain active in that sense? Which is never accepting anything. Therefore, questioning, asking, looking.